Hello and welcome to the McEwen Bros podcast. This is week number 18 of 52. This episode's all about our business challenge that was set by our dad at the start of April. Dad, welcome to the podcast once again.
Good to be here.
Going to have a little bit of chat about our business proposal we brought forward to you just over a week and a bit ago. What your thoughts are on what we've created since the start of it. And obviously me and Gary will tell you a little bit about why we've gone down this route and sort of the plans for the next coming weeks. So what to start off with is obviously we put this proposal to you, you've read it over, you've shared stuff on Medium about it, you wrote an article about it so you can earn some money off of us. And can you tell us a little bit about what your thoughts and first thoughts are on our idea?
Well, first of all, it's not for me to earn money, it's for you boys to learn new skills and hopefully earn some money and side hustles and things. The last year's Gate Pro Full Challenge, so you pitted against each other, you got your £1,000 and you had to make as much money as you could. And what actually happened was your brother in Australia decided to spend all his money on building skills and workbenches and things in his garage. Never actually got around to making any money. Gregor, you had paralysis by analysis by your own admission. You had so many ideas, but you never put any into actual action. And I think what it did show with yourself, Jamie, is that if you get moving, if you take action, things happen. Nothing happens if you don't actually do something. So you won that challenge hands down in the first 3 months. But then things seemed to stagnate. But what I gathered was you each have three different skills. There's an engineer, there's a marketer, there's a business entrepreneurship, and the three of you together could possibly design something that would work well and get your unique. But there was also a third thing with that, because I also wanted the three of you to be in touch with each other, not just on the ad hoc basis, but to actually have some structure about your connections. So when you do these things, I think that and together and work towards them, I think it creates a little bit of happiness. However, you came up with great ideas and put them into a spreadsheet and decided which one to go for. And the one that you chose would possibly raise an eyebrow with most people, as you saw with some of the comments we had in Medium. People were saying, well, what about this, what about that, hygiene, this, the next thing. What I thought was it left Gregor in a position where he was doing pretty much everything, because it would start from Edinburgh. Anything that you purchased, he'd have to store. All the deliveries would come from his flat. He has no transport, which surprised me, because I reckon the three of you in this day and age of business online, the three of you could have come up with something that would have could have involved you all equally in an online business. You've done it with your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel's you've been busy with it every week. You make sure you do things. However, there was an opportunity, I think, for you to do something different that involved the three of you without having that physical nature of the business with it. Now, as I said in my latest Medium article, there's a bit of it me living vicariously through yourselves, and this is what I want for you. But in actual fact, the three of you are very successful boys. You've all got beautiful looking girlfriends. You've all got good jobs that you put a lot of time and effort into. It's not for me to say what you should do with your spare time. So if you continue with this and do it, I'm hoping that you pick up skills and learn from it, and ultimately get yourself side hustles where you make some money without having to worry about losing cash that you invest yourselves into it. If you don't, then it makes no difference as long as you're happy.
I don't know what to say to that, Jimmy. Do you have much to say on that matter?
I think the points, obviously, going back to us at the start when we first came through the idea, we obviously, as the audience won't be aware, we spent quite a bit of time, the three of us, figuring out what idea we were going to go for, and we all kind of had different views on what I think we wanted to do. Callum came up with this 3D printer idea. I was very much online, do everything remotely, so all three of us can work on it. Callum being in Australia, hard to balance all of us working together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we obviously came to a mutual decision of our pizza business, which I don't even we've said what the business is. It's our pizza rental business. So if you listen to this, we'll basically within Edinburgh be renting out pizza ovens for parties, events, for birthdays, for gatherings, for you to enjoy the experience of creating your own pizzas in a fast, outdoor, fun, exciting way. And we'll be supplying the dough and ingredients for you to make such pizzas, which I thought great idea. Businesses are already out there doing that sort of business. It's kind of a proven concept, but there's just not much of it in Edinburgh. There's not that many businesses you see doing the rental side of it. I think it's a route we went down. Gregor's also, as I said, spent a lot of time and effort on creating this business idea. So from what Dad says, I think the big thing for me is like looking back on it. We're at a stage where we're about to go further develop the business and go into a stage of probably putting money into things, ordering the pizza oven, getting a website set up, but spending a lot of time and effort doing that. Is it worth reevaluating? Is this idea going to be worth it? And also, is it going to be too much effort for you on your own in Edinburgh while you're working? Whereas me and Callum are going to be very much, not being able to do much of it.
Yeah.
You're going to have this pizza oven in your flat. Plus, then obviously go to because the people who we're going to get dough from or ingredients and stuff, that's going to be requiring someone to go out and go to get it because the pizza people aren't going to deliver that to us. We're going to have to go to them to be like, oh, can we get this from you every time it happens? And if we do that over a weekend, if you get someone, a Thursday, Friday, if you say we got booked out for 3 days in a row, you've got to get it, clean it, get it back, and get it to the next place. And if you're working an 8-hour shift in a day, to come back and then having to do that all on your own back, where you want to have your own life, I find that a bit hard to consider to continue. There's a question of do we actually have a discussion to continue this? Is it better to go down a different route, something that we can all do online?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think obviously chatting it with yourself, Dad, and Colin, our uncle, has definitely opened up, I guess, problems that we could come against with the idea.
Yeah.
A lot of the problems stem around logistical aspects of the business, like sourcing the materials. How do you get from product from A to B? I guess from my point of view is actually the idea itself is quite simple, and actually where you get the money from is quite simple. So that aspect of the idea is good.
Mm-hmm.
So then, the actual value prop is easy, but then the actual logistical side, because it's just basically a logistical business, like you're just delivering pizza ovens.
Yeah.
But it's creating the event experience around that. So yeah, there's going to have pros and cons, and I think there's going to be problems that we need to overcome. But I guess where you come in and say you need to spend money right away, or we're going to be spending money soon, I think we need to approach it from the point of view, like this isn't set in stone, and I understand like reevaluating what we're doing, but I guess we can do it like set a few ads up, create a web page, and
what if you go? Sorry to interrupt, but what if you got your supplier for your pizzas and your bases and your foods and things to have that packaged up, and for them to use their space to have their pizza ovens and things, and go in and say, look, here's an opportunity for you to make some more money. We'll give you a share of this. So we'll set up all the, we'll have furnished the cost of the pizza oven in the first place. If it's a goer and our advertising takes off, people will get in touch with you. They can come in and pick it up from your shop.
Mm-hmm.
And all you've got to do then is do that, and it's an extra income for yourselves.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
And that takes away from you boys having to do anything other than market it.
Yeah.
And again, if that happens, it's something that you could do in Aberdeen, you could do in Maitland or Newcastle and for Callum and things. You could even expand it to Glasgow, because if you've got somebody else doing all the
and even these like local restaurants have their own drivers, so you could even just be like, why don't you use that?
I like the idea of it. Yeah, I did like it. What I didn't think was so good was it being workable for the 3-year situations that you're in just now. However, if you're outsourcing all the basic works for it and you've just got the idea, then that's another thing that it can start to operate itself.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea to get a business, basically use someone else's business, come to them with all the solutions to it, and be like, "This is what we've came up with. This is what we want to do," and just being like, "Would you be willing to take part in or be part of this?" And we're trying to get pizza restaurants to,
Yeah.
or your chain, or say like Edinburgh, there's quite a few small chains in Edinburgh that they have 2 or 3 shops or stuff like that that are in different locations.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, we'll provide one pizza for each location and stuff. I think it's just going to be like, I know from, and you know from our Uber Eats and working for Otter, doing trying to get them to take on services, it can be a challenge, and very much they don't want to do it for nothing. They'll want a large cut of whatever is money made, or they'll go, you know what, actually that's a good idea. They can do it in their own back because they've already got a successful business. They already got the clientele, and they do it in their own back.
If you've already got the marketing set up for it and say, oh, here's the customers that are looking for this,
but so see for that, you can have everything set up in terms of customers, but it's not we're not in a stage to do that. So the big thing with me with the business is it's going to be a real slow turner to get there. Whereas what you can do with an online business, and the reason I pushed for that right at the beginning was it can be quite fast paced.
But I think it's very easy to say an online business, and it's like, what is the root of that? Whereas this is very much, the product, the market, different avenues where you can get customers. No. But I guess for us, it's maybe a stumbling block is a lot.
Do you know the market?
We know what I mean by know the market is like potential customers and avenues to attract those customers. You can go like corporate events, birthdays. You've got these different types of customers that you could actually approach and market to. And I guess it's like the next step of want to make it relatively cheap way to market to these people and see if there is interest, because I wouldn't be comfortable spending a lot of money on a oven right away. So you either maybe create like a waiting list, and it's like, oh, we open in a month, and it's like, join our waiting list and see actually how many people you actually get on the waiting list. And if it gets over 50 people, we're like, oh, they've actually made a booking through the form that we used. That shows you that it's a good enough interest. Let's invest more. Yeah. But if I say in a month we don't get 50 people, then we've got, okay, let's park that and let's see what else there is. See, like working multiple angles of it rather than being like all in.
With the pizza oven, we've gone for, we talked about the one that you found and you've looked at. Did you not like a 3-week period for them to get delivered?
Well, no, I had to look on Amazon. It's like you can get them on Prime.
Get the same. Okay. I just wasn't sure. I've not looked into. You looked into the purchasing of the pizza oven.
I thought this. Well, I guess we can bring it back to the challenge itself. I think it's good. Like, we're having to come up with ideas as 3 individuals, and I think obviously from my degree, I'm quite used to coming up with ideas and trying to create a plan and all that sort of stuff. So I thought that came across. I think, and it's like, what is the next stage? I think is what we're struggling with. And if it was just an online business, you'd be like, okay, yeah, like what you're doing with the FBA stuff, fairly straightforward. And then Callum had his ideas for it. Fulfillment by Amazon. And basically what Callum's come up with is like his expertise in engineering and 3D printing. And we don't understand that.
No.
So it's kind of like, it's hard to be, online makes sense, but then it's like, what brings our skill sets together online in a way that makes sense, rather than running around a shop like what you're doing to trying to find products that are on a deal.
Completely. I think
it's balance. What we could
the big thing as well is, like, obviously, as you said, living situations of all 3 of us. Callum's on the other side of the world. That's just hard for him. Like, this business, I find like once it's up and running, what does Callum do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Whereas my thought process is, end of this year, probably won't be in Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be down Glasgow or Edinburgh, and I can take more of a part in being like, do more within the business.
Yeah,
and be helping getting the product to people. I've got a car. That little things like that make a difference.
If you were to try 10 different things, all of you, right? Here's an idea. Let's try this. Let's get it started. Let's see how it works. We'll learn from it, and then.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's
we can't get one business. We can go. Never mind 10.
Yeah, and why is that?
I think a lot of it is to do. Well, it's not a lot to do with it. It's I think because we're very new to it at the moment, and we're figuring out how we actually work together. Like we're asking like, how do you actually manage projects and stuff? And it's like we're all like don't have a set answer. How do you like to communicate? Oh, we're using Messenger, and it's like just filling out and that takes time. And with the time difference of Callum, he's calling us basically mid morning on like a Tuesday to kind of catch up.
Have you not got like a WhatsApp group that you put your ideas and discuss things on?
Well, yeah, but like WhatsApp in itself is like somebody posts a message, I'm talking about something else. It's hard to actually create decent communication. So it's like we're figuring those things out.
Or something like that. Then that you could use.
Yeah, we could actually. We're figuring it out, and I think that's what's taking time. And obviously,
how do you feel about that time that's taken? Because you know that this is an opportunity for a year, and you took nearly a month to get going, and it would probably been longer if I hadn't said you lose £500 after every month.
Yeah, it probably would have been longer.
Should I have set timescales in for more, or should I just have went there you go, let's go on with it? And is it getting delayed because one person's a procrastinator and everything becomes procrastinated? Or
I guess
if it was your own selves doing it, would it
a prime example? Well, yeah, I guess that was a prime example, but it's like we come up with the idea, and then you give us the money, it's like we get going, and then you're like, okay, we'll talk about it in the golf holiday we've just been on. And I thought, after this golf holiday, you'd be like, okay, we've got it. It's kind of set in stone, kind of like next stages. But even like after golf holiday, like even we're talking about it now, and it's like this is the only chance that we've had really to, apart from the meal. Yeah. So it's like it's building in time in a format that actually makes sense rather than just like getting on a call and giggling.
Yeah, and your busy lives as well. When you've got other priorities and things to do that you want to do.
Yeah.
And running a side hustle like Christoph that you had on your podcast, who spent every single spare moment of his time doing that because that was his determination. And if you're not, that's why there's 100% of people aren't 100% entrepreneurs, because not everybody's prepared to do what's necessary.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a bit of that. I think for the three of us, there's a bit of I don't know how much we're invested in the business. Like personally, I when it's the business pizza idea, I was like, it's a good idea and it can be done well. But probably one of the reasons I've not been fully invested because it's not something that I'm like, none of us have had catering business. None of us have done catering. We're going into a market that we've not really touched ever. And like, but why are we not doing something that we all kind of know?
For me, that's like that I have to. It's the wrong. Well, yeah, I get it. It's the wrong approach. It's like the easy approach being like.
You could have tested the water with that idea already, though.
Yeah, the entrepreneurship.
You could have had it out there and see what response you've got, and then that would have. And within a couple of weeks, you could have said, "Right, this is a goer because we've got 10 folk that are looking for it."
Yeah, but it's more. Yeah, totally good. But I think it's more about
or nobody's interested. Let's get moving on. In the meantime, we'll try something else.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing is like when our podcast, or this podcast, I say, me and you've discussed about trying to be reliable for each other. Saying that actually, like, what have you done this week? Like being a bit more of like saying, like, as the three of us being on each other's backs a little bit, being like, what have you done?
I think we do say that a lot, and it's like, I guess a prime example was, I during the start of this, I was like trying to like create momentum.
Yeah,
I did like the Excel spreadsheets, the ideas, Notion, who's going to set up Notion page, who's going to create the tasks that we need to do. That was all me, and you and Callum were like, yeah, we're just kind of going along with it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, I could easily continue that momentum, but I didn't really feel too good. And I was like, obviously holiday, and it's like, where are you and Callum coming in on this? Yeah. Callum did eventually set up the Notion page after he called us and asked us what it was, and it's like, we actually, Jimmy, you emailed, set it up. So it's a bit like, where's the other side that coming in? Like, I've put all this effort in, why haven't you done your side? Yeah. So it's like that aspect as well. And I think maybe it comes out, maybe that comes down to the idea. Yeah. Like, so you're not invested in it.
Is an element of, for you, a bit of, I'm doing all the work here and nobody's bothered?
No, because part of me was yes, but I was thinking about, I was trying to give responsibilities away. I could have easily set up the Notion page and created some tasks. But I was like, oh, rather than me do it, I'll be the manager and tell someone to do it. Jamie, can you do it?
Do you feel you need a CEO, a leader that is motivating people and instructing people to do things by a certain time scale then? Because
But no, it's like it's literally that was me. That was me doing that, being like, oh, can you set this up? Can
and
you
how
do
well
that?
did it work?
Well,
Well,
Callum eventually
the-
got on the Notion page,
Yeah,
and then
but the
you said
thing-
it. Paying
the-
us, yeah, well,
the thing with Notion, so like Notion's a great platform. I've read about it and listened about it and stuff. It's a platform that a lot of business use and stuff to get into,
yeah,
but it's something that you use a lot. I don't touch it. Like, I've used it a couple of times for our
Yeah.
podcast stuff. Callum had never even heard of it.
yeah.
I don't touch it. I don't really use it that much because it's not something that
I think-
I go on that
I've
much.
never heard of it either. So how does Notion work?
But like Notion is basically just a, it's not a it's like a fancy version of a Word doc. Effectively, you can create kind of unlimited formats of a sheet, and you can maybe do like Kanban structures. It all works off a database structure. So basically, it's very easy to build anything you need to organize like tasks.
Yeah.
So you basically just do Kanban like tasks that needs done next week. Has been doing finished tasks, and you just move the tasks along. That was my idea. We could just basically manage it like that. It's just a very simple way to manage projects. But I think the issue that I'm having right now is like entrepreneurship and developing ideas is all about learning and overcoming problems. A problem that you would have had is actually understanding Notion to use it. I asked Callum, what project management softwares do you use? Because we need one, to manage tasks. He came up with one that is very specific to his job, which seemed very engineering. And I was like, okay, never heard of it. It seems very engineering. You probably have to pay for it. Let's use Notion because it's free and we can all use it.
Yeah.
And it's like the issue is overcoming the learning barrier to just use it.
Yeah, it's
like
just-
why you I can't use it. You kind of like threw up a face already, being like, I can't use it. I'm not going to do anything with it. And it's like we need it to do the next stage. So why are you stopping at the first hurdle? Because it could be hurdles every step.
No, it's not stopping at the first hurdle. It's not going completely just doing it. It's just not using it enough. And it's going back to the same aspect of how much I'm into the business, how much I'm like actually like going all in on it.
The whole point was we did the voting thing.
Yeah, but
then
did you
we-
see
then we
my
had-
voting wasn't?
Then we had a conversation afterwards
Yeah.
to actually decide if this is what we want to go for. It
Well,
wasn't.
that
Like, it
would've-
wasn't like, okay, this is like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
non-democratic.
yeah, but like you still you can't be 100% on something if like just because it's been a mutual decision. Obviously, I'm going to try and help out and do
But it's like-
my part and
Yeah.
on the business. But my biggest thing was that like for the thing for me with the whole business is we're supposed to be doing a business as brothers to become to make us all have a equal part in it. This business hasn't. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have the aspect of it's equal. It's not. It's,
Can
I
I
find
give
that
you a
I find
little
that-
analogy? Have you heard of Wrigley's?
no.
Wrigley's, what do Wrigley's do?
Is that toy shop? No.
Wrigley's,
Oh, no.
Wrigley's spearmint gum. You heard of that?
Mm,
Chewing gum.
oh yeah,
chewing
the
gum,
green
okay.
one with the.
Wrigley started off as a clothing company, and they used to send out their clothes by order. But in every package they sent out, they put in a little bit of washing powder
Okay.
for them as a freebie. And what they found was people wanted the washing powder more than the clothes, so they made washing powder,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent the washing powder out and bigger than their clothing brand, and they sent chewing gum, a packet of chewing gum out with it, with the Wrigley's, and eventually people realised the people were more interested in the Wrigley's chewing gum than they were in the washing powder, and that's how they became a Wrigley's chewing gum. But what actually happened in the first place was they sold something. They got
Yeah.
in there and they did something to start
Yeah.
with, and as long as you've got this paralysis of making a decision, you'll never get anywhere
Yeah.
because you haven't got anything to learn from.
Yeah,
You
that's so
haven't
true.
got what you haven't have found out what the customer actually wants. And to me, this idea sounds great. Let's get started. We'll do this. Do your market research first. You know about that. You're the business person. Easy, just send out something that says, right, we can get this for you. Would you be interested for the summer?
Yeah, but
sometime?
like that was a plan for the next step. Is like we don't want to invest in a
yeah, well,
product, right?
right. That would have been the first thing you should have done, though, is it not?
what for all our ideas.
Establish if there's an interest in it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but like what we want to do is invest in like
As long as
the-
you're talking about it,
if we-
nothing's going to happen.
if we did that for every single idea that we had, we would still be okay. You would get learnings from it, but then you have to digest the learnings, actually invest a bit of money in marketing, and actually we'd still be in the process.
Surely
of
that's not hard, because if you do 10 things and you send them out, and a week later you've got nothing from
Where
one
do you
to
send them
9,
out
and
to?
so,
It's easy for you to say. Where do you send them out to?
well, you've told me you do it in Facebook marketing. Or,
Yeah, that costs money.
yeah.
How do you know it's like
How much money?
statistically significant as a test?
You've got the money there to do that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, but Facebook isn't
or-
cheap to get to the scale you need to go.
Well, maybe you're thinking too small.
So what's your point?
It's actually get something started.
Yeah, that's our next step, and so like our next step is to do the research, either do the basically ads cheaply on Facebook, or Facebook groups in Edinburgh, like posting like this is like an idea. We're thinking like really cheap ways to test the idea in the market. So either we'd be like set up a single page landing page with a booking form, or are you interested, join the waiting list, send link that to the Facebook ads, link that to a post on some Facebook groups, maybe create some flyers. Or
I think the website, I think the thing like an idea would be good is like set up the website, but set it up with as I say, a waiting list. But obviously people are not just going to go and sit on a waiting list for a month. Like life, everyone's runs at 30 seconds at a time with people. That's using TikTok kicked off, and these reels, because people just want quick. So what would be good is people that go into raffle things. So like what you do is anyone that joins the waiting list, 2 out of, if we hit 500 people,
get it for free or something.
Get it for free.
Of
get
course.
a free night.
100%. Totally anything like that would have done.
And it's just setting that up. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
But like with that, Callum's talk about what provider we're going to choose for building the website, these aspects. So that all takes,
because that costs as well,
time. Who actually say brings back to Notion. Have you used Notion before? There's so many. We're not developers. There's so many web builders out there, and it's like deciding on which one you can use to build this.
These are all skills as you learn them as you go. If you decide on something, you learn as you go. And I did it with my blogging. I mean, I started writing my book, and then I realised there's other things out there, Quora, and I built up 10,000 followers in Quora, and the spaces I did in that, and then there's Medium, that's paying a bit better, so I moved over and I adapted my writing and the knowledge that I've got for all of them as I went. So I'm now writing for 3 different blogging sites and Quora and doing my books, and all these things bring in little bits of income.
And you're used to them now. So obviously what I want to talk about as well is, so we've set on this pizza business events creation business idea, and obviously we've had a process to get to this stage through you setting up the challenge. But obviously I sent you all the Excel spreadsheets and stuff for like how we came up with ideas, and obviously you've read through them. Was there any other idea that you thought, that would have been, I thought you'd have went for that one, or did you have something in mind?
Well, the YouTube channel one I thought was actually quite a good one, because you've already set up a YouTube channel, you know how that's done. It's gearing it towards getting.
So yeah, I get that. So I saw your, obviously in Medium, you're like, I'm surprised it didn't go down or select the YouTube one. But then again, it comes back to like what we know about YouTube is like you need X amount of followers
and things. Yeah, there are different ways of doing it than sitting in front of a mic and doing a YouTube advert or standing and selling a product. Though you can,
from the whole process of what we're doing,
you can choose free music, and I saw one person on TikTok did exactly that. They go onto the site, they choose some video footage of a country, they put music to it, they fire it on YouTube, and people going, I'm going to Belarus, what's there, and then they can fly across and see it all and listen to music as they're doing it, and it becomes addictive because of the videos are there. They've never been there, all they've done is put it together and stuck it on YouTube. That's just one idea of many that
but I think our YouTube idea was in line with this.
It's the base of the YouTube idea that we had is the fact of whatever business we go for, we're going to try and create a channel that we show how we go about
How
it.
you do it, yeah.
An idea of just basically so like what we've done so far.
Yeah. Callum was going to edit it. That's what it was, because he has a OneDrive. We're going to talk about this, and he has a OneDrive. We just upload the files to his
Right, yeah, he
OneDrive,
does that.
and he was going to edit the videos for YouTube channel.
But no,
That's me,
anything
actually.
you do to that,
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
it's
it's me.
Oh, what was
Yeah.
Callum doing?
Don't know.
Okay.
sanding some wood.
I think it's
There was another part of
Drinking.
there was another part of the plan that we didn't
Yeah.
put in the proposal because we wanted like a one pager.
Yeah.
So this was Callum. While we're working on the pizza thing, Callum was going to still continue his work with the 3D printer.
Yeah.
And the idea was that so it is that the pizza thing gets up and running, and it's, you know, kind of ins and outs are more consistent. We could then generate some of the cash from that to invest in whatever Callum needs for a 3D printer.
Yeah.
And the idea was we'd help support Callum as well with his 3D printer idea. But you know, me and Jamie are like, we still don't understand.
so from what
fully
from
what
what
that
from what I
is.
understand, Callum's business ideas is there's people 3D printers are still as a growing market from what Callum's research has found. And
I'm surprised at that, because 3D printers were a big thing 3-4 years ago. They were going to revolutionise everything, and they haven't revolutionised anything. People,
I think
not every
for-
household has a 3D printer.
Yeah, but I don't think
No.
that's. I
So
don't
in
think
fact,
that's
the
the
printer that
angle.
you have here, you know,
Yeah, I know.
he uses it for his work, doesn't
Yeah, I think that's probably what he's getting at.
yeah, and Callum's looking at basically this modular one where you can buy parts for it and you build it up. And so Callum would buy all the parts, sell the 3D printer, and what you buy the parts for is obviously less than the 3D printer. Sell the 3D printer on, and then you obviously have a website set up with all these parts on it as well. So you've got the parts. So the person you've sold the printer to, if they go, oh, I actually want to print this off, but their printer doesn't work for that, they can go to our website and then go, okay, great, I'll buy the other parts, and now I can add that on and build it up and make it bigger.
What
And
he-
before you know,
what-
you've got
the-
it bigger.
One of the issues with that for me was that you have to get all the parts in, and it's time consuming to go and build something and then sell it, right? If you've got somebody that's building that for you and then you sell them on, you can sell as many as you like, as often as you like.
Yeah.
You know, Callum did it with his tables, right? I'm going to do this, make this table and this workbench, and it's brilliant. Now I've built a workbench, I can do another workbench, but it took him a year to build it up, and that's a
Still
long
fast.
time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised as well that because it was open to go for an investment, you could have said right from the outset, right, we need that money, Dad. I'm going to put in an ETF or a dividend paying company, and even if you did nothing, if you're getting 10% a dividend and 5%, even you're going to make some dosh out of it. you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously put it into an investment is like just an easy option and might be the easiest option for us for life right now. But at the same time, it's a bit. I don't think it's that match to what you want. It's like you want us to work together.
Yeah, right.
Choosing
Yeah,
a
okay, but
ETF doesn't really make sense.
You've got to do that and choose it in the first place. And if it's sitting in there in an investment, then you can say, well, I'm going to take it out for this, I'm going to take it out for that. Rather than having it do nothing.
Well, we're doing that. We're investing it.
And
So we're choosing 3 ETFs each.
okay.
So
Well,
Callum's
are we-
done. Well, I don't know if you're doing
Blue
an
chip.
ETF. Blue chip.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go for blue chip.
Blue chip company. Callum's done the S&P 500. I'm going to probably choose the Vanguard All World,
Okay.
and Jamie's going to
Unilever.
choose Unilever.
Right. It's maybe actually quite a good thing I delayed it a month, because the shares have went plummeting
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah. Anyway, to kind of bring it all back round, we're obviously got plans. So our plans for the next coming weeks, and I've got a couple of days off, which actually is one of my plans. I had a nice wee 11-day holiday. Thought tail end of the holiday, do my own wee FBA, but also either see about the website or do a little bit of work on that.
Cool.
We've obviously got plans of hopefully coming up with it. What do you expect us to be at in? Because I think it'd be good to come back to this in a couple of months' time and to see where we're at, and maybe do another episode
Yeah.
on where we're at. So let's go for 3 months from now. Summer will be kind of coming to an end. Where would you like to see, or where do you predict us to be within 3 months, Dad?
It's my predictions I'm not entirely sure. It'll be based on your life. But what I would like to see is for you to come back and blow me away with your ideas and what you've actually tried out and what you've learned and what's actually making you some extra side hustle money, and then I can sit and write about it in Medium and earn myself some dosh as well.
We were gonna set up a WhatsApp group for it, right? Instead,
Mhm.
because you want to be involved.
Yes, I'd like to.
I'll do that now.
It would be interesting to know what you do, when, and how, so that I can pluck
Yeah.
things from it and ideas and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Gregor, where do you see us being in 3 months?
I think in 3 months' time we will have tested the pizza rental business online. So we'd have like some spend some money in marketing, have a website up, hopefully generate some interest, and depending on how that goes, we would have bought a pizza oven and started basically renting it out, and perhaps had 1 or 2 orders.
Yep.
And I think if that has not worked out as planned, we would have gone back to drum board and perhaps maybe looked more into maybe what you're doing with FBA work, and perhaps maybe dive into another idea that we had. I know knife sharpening was one that Callum had.
Online knife sharpening.
Aye, so you just upload an image of your knife
Uh-huh.
and we tell you where to sharpen.
Well, actually, if you put that in YouTube and this is a knife getting sharpened,
There
and
you
you do this, and then you have different things going down and it cuts.
what it
Yeah.
cuts
The
different
way-
stuff.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay.
That people would watch that.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing where you go with it.
Mhm.
What I don't want to happen is for you to think this is the be all and end all, and you've still got to be happy and live your lives and things like that.
Yeah.
And if it becomes a chore as opposed to a nice little
Yeah. I think what we'll do
side-
is keep the WhatsApp group up to date. I think that'll give everyone an idea of how we're feeling or what we're up to.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way.
Okay.
Like radio silence is probably the worst.
I think it's the biggest thing probably in the last
Reminders,
week. In
yeah.
the last few weeks, it's probably been just quite quiet. Not done
yeah.
often much. We've not been chatting enough about it. But for myself in 3 months, and she's nearly as well asked me,
Right, Jimmy. How do you think it'll go in 3 months'
so
time?
Language, Timothy. You're not on your YouTube channel.
We can block that out.
it's adult friendly. It's not child friendly.
Do you slide
Do you
that
actually
in
do that at the bottom of it, right? For 18-year-olds and over,
Oh, we should.
X-rated.
No, I think it'd be good to, by 3 months, I've had like a handful of deliveries already done with the pizza business, have a supplier for all of our dough, and just be able to like figure out the nitty gritties of like what's the issues with it and what stuff we can need to improve on. But also on the side of that is maybe, I've got my Amazon FBA set up, like do that on the side because there's enough money there from the pot that we've been given to be doing more than one thing. I think obviously from you saying is you want us to be doing testing out different things.
Mhm.
So like I've already got something set up now. I can start selling on Amazon, testing that waters, have that going as well, and then even maybe giving Callum some of it to just if he's got a different idea that he can do it there. Because I think the biggest thing for me and you is he's enough to be doing stuff in Scotland where we can be together. The website stuff can actually be a bit harder for Callum because Callum's gonna have to go on like a VPN to say that he's in the UK. There's different servers and everything like that side of things. That's even just that can go into our website to try and edit it. We could find that being a little of an issue. So maybe worth Callum actually trying to come up with something as well that he can work on, and we can actually try and just help support him doing his thing out in Australia, but be part of it as well. So yeah, I think it'd be good for all of us to have like basically all have something going on, but definitely get the pizza business up and running, and get that started. But
Cool.
yeah. Well, thank you, Dad, for coming along to episode number 18 of our podcast. We apologise for being a bit of a late to the scene for week 18. Week 19 will also be up this week. Gregor, it could be an interesting episode when we do this one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one, but we'll tell you about it when we get there.
Exactly.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see you guys this week.